Welcome to the Men Don't Talk podcast. I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Loved Ones Forever. They're a company that regenerates photographs and restores photographs that have been damaged in fire, floods, etc. So if you want to have anything restored, link us in the DMs and and we get back to you, give you the relevant information. Anyway, this is a podcast called Men Don't Talk. It's about what men don't talk about. We tackle all sorts of issues, but also as well, just build a conversation so 2 or 3 men can get together and just have a talk together, So I'd like to introduce myself. My name's Reggie. This is Ken. And
Ken on.
Ken on. Okay, I just haven't got the accent there. Nice. And this is Tillz, as you met before. So
right.
What it is, we're just going to open up a conversation and what I'm going to do is ask our guests. Yeah, our guests are sort of like, what's going on? Where you from?
I'm from Southeast London, Bermondsey. Set the big man here. And just standard 21-year-old from Southeast London, really.
What's it like growing up 2023?
Oh, different. Not as what I would have expected. I think maybe when I was a bit younger, but yes, definitely eventful. I could say that, eventful, but so far so good. I want to look at the positives. There's a lot of positives coming up in a time like this. So yeah.
So what sort of negatives you encountered being a 21-year-old in this environment, in this world?
I think, my God, I think it's quite a lot. I think mental health is very important, and I think nowadays we've got so much pressure on us and no one really cares. And I think as a man, like exactly how the podcast is called, really, we can't talk, we can't really express ourselves, and no one really cares. In the day, it's just the truth, and we got to put up with it. But there's also there's more negatives with that as well. But I don't really like focusing on negatives. Just look at the positives, look at the pluses, and there's a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I don't think much has changed over the generations. I'm like 51. I don't think much has changed. I mean, me and Tillz have spoke about this a lot, like this kind of environment that we're growing up in. You guys are growing up in, I've already grown up in that environment, but I do still think that I'm learning every day. Like you spoke about mental health. Give your what sort of type of things kind of affect your mental health?
I think it's loads of things. Obviously, there's always like the problems within family or whatever, like honestly, so many things, like with cousins or mother, parents, siblings. There's always ups and downs. But I think the main thing for me that always plays on my mind is just getting out of where I'm from, really. Because I come from very working class, a bit of a rough area. Like a lot of people maybe outside.
I'll just stop you for 2 seconds. This is the most well-spoken I've ever heard my best friend speak in my life. I'm just telling you, but I needed to laugh. I've been trying not to laugh for like 30 times.
Is this your telephone voice?
This is
I'm speaking to the Prince Charles, right? The King.
This guy's from South Bermondsey, ghetto. Do you know what I'm saying? He's speaking like this.
Downtown.
No, not far though. Not far. My grandparents from downtown.
Yeah. Bloody hell. So okay. So look, come on, be yourself.
Yeah, I've got.
Right, let's open up the dialogue going on.
Right. Come a bit closer.
No, I think like I was gonna say before this guy interrupted, was that the thing that plays on my mind and definitely plays on my emotions is just the pressure of just trying to get out of where I come from. Because for me, I've always just thought I need to. It's bigger out there, and I've seen people from where I'm from who are generations, same working class, working to their 70s. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's honestly nothing wrong with that. But for me, I just couldn't do that. Like my dad's quite an old geezer, he's 74, and he worked till he's like 72. And I saw it, I was like, that was just that terrifying. I was like, I can't do that.
You don't want it for yourself.
My father's 75 and I'm 51. So we're looking at a totally different... father structure. It's really important. I do think that children and young men growing up, especially young men, because what it is, our young men are the guys that are going to build this society, like we're going to build it, yeah? And what it is now, really, I mean, at the age I am is sort of like kind of politician age, really, like where these guys are making decisions for the younger guys to support life. you spoke about that kind of was it a lack of, was it a role model lacking or what, who'd you look up to?
That's the thing. I didn't really look up to anyone growing up, to be honest with you. Like I love my dad, love my mum, but I think just I wasn't that close with my dad growing up, and with my mum, obviously, I can't really look up to my mum. I looked up to her in certain ways, how she carried herself, but as a whole, I never had that like grown like male figure. I think as I hit like more teen, like 15, 16, and I was around this guy's house more and seeing his father, I think I definitely looked up to him as I got later. But like growing up, I never really had. It was mainly like just our footballers really that I looked up to and adored.
Yeah.
But it was obviously I was never gonna.
Who's your favourite footballer?
Oh, it's Wayne Rooney all day long.
Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, he's the reason why. Him and Scholes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got like Root and Ronaldo as well, but Rooney is like that's the man. That's the reason why I supported United. But yeah,
believe it or not, I don't support a football team.
Oh really?
No.
Oh, I thought you.
There was a reason why that was.
Well,
yeah. Well, this is the reason why. Was like I used to get up to skullduggery, right? I used to get up a lot of shit, yeah. And when football was on, there was two things that was available. There was a lot of people that bought stuff, but there was a lot of women available. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I thought I'd tell what. That's how I used to look. I'm never, of course they are, and they're too pissed after anyway, so you can get with what you want to get. Yeah, you understand what I mean? It's like, but the thing is, I speak to a lot of guys, and they all support football, and I just never ever got hit with that. I can play football, I like playing football, but I never really got hit with that. I feel
lucky, to be honest.
Yeah, do you reckon so?
Yeah, because when my team, I can have the best week. If United loses, my week's ruined.
I get that, but the thing is, looking at your role models, I mean, see, what I look at is the footballers, they earn a vast amount of money when they hit that sort of level, right? And it's an exorbitant amount of money. When you're talking about that money, it's called like draft money. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you can afford in a draft, you're well off. You know what I mean? And I'm quoting a bit of Abby and Peach there. Right, but the thing is, like that, the sights are set so high, the bar is set so high, So I mean, is it athletism or how they carry themselves? Because a lot of footballers don't really conduct themselves in a bright manner.
Well, Rooney was in the tabloids every other day.
Oh yeah, he's always chastising, running about like whatever. I mean, quote me if I'm wrong, but the thing is, he's apologised a few times, for behaviours done and said and done, and. You know what? Like looking at role models. When I was growing up, my role models were other people that were selling. Yeah, my role models were that. My role models were that. Like my role models were people that would go out and do crime. I'm not like really like my role models were the guys that I thought cared for me and had more interest in me than my own father did. Yeah, that was what my role models were. So we've got totally different. Like I would have liked to get into sports, but it's funny. My children, I've got 3 boys, and I've got a girl, and none of them are in at football. And my boys are not in at football. So sometimes, is your dad into football? Does he? No, he doesn't. No. So you kind of went right opposite.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, family's not really football fans at all.
No,
it's me and like my mum's brother. That's about it, really. In the family, that's actually big football fans.
Yeah. So I mean,
the way it came from, just.
I mean, I think as well because your father was always grafting. Is that right?
He was working a lot. If not, like he was just in another room watching his telly. He just wasn't. He's not a very talkative guy. He's just
some people are maybe like some people really go in themselves. What I've realised is that my parents never had they come out of post-war. So the thing is like their mothers and fathers were actually actively affected by the war. So when my mum and dad were born in 64, was it? No, 1944, my mum and dad were born. and it was sort of like 1 year kind of after like this. Remember, London was bombed for 9 months solid. You know what I mean? Plus, where people were dying and stuff like that. You know, people were going to war and stuff like that. So when their mum and dad come back, when their fathers come back, they was traumatized. And it's not like today at a woke society, which I say is woke. A lot of people, you know what I mean? You know, could you imagine, right? Getting a time like bringing them back and bringing your grandparents to this day,
and letting them see what's going on.
Yes. Can you imagine that? Yeah. Would you imagine
They'd
that?
go back in the grave. I think I'll just throw back.
They would fucking dig that grave fast enough. Get me back in there. You know what I mean? Yeah. What do you reckon, Tillz? Would you fucking go mental?
I reckon they'll be more traumatized than what they saw in World War. I'll be honest with you.
Well, imagine that, like, you know, like. So, what do you think about all this stuff? I mean, have you got any pronouns?
Oh mate, don't even come with me. That's it, honestly.
You got any of that? Yeah.
I'm strongly. I think it's. I don't even know how it even came about. I don't know if it's just maybe like something.
It's just pure ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just it's a bunch of people who have never struggled in their life, come from good, happy backgrounds. So you look at the majority of them, it's always they come from middle class, upper class.
Yeah.
They have no struggle, and they want something to complain about because they know deep down they have nothing else to
Is it a
complain about.
complaining society we've got today?
Oh my God.
Very
Everyone is who can be the biggest victim. And for me, I never understand. I mean, him, you spoke about a million times. We don't understand how you can want to be a victim. Like, I want to be oppressed. I like, you see, people are like, it's the oppression Olympics. They're just trying to.
Oppression
like,
Olympics. Yeah.
They're honestly just trying to, like, who's more oppressed, who's more evil. Like, and especially, like, I think, obviously, with Tillz, it might be slightly different because he's obviously a person of colour and he's ethnic. But, like for someone like us, like, if no, I'm saying, listen,
Drop it on him.
Bit racist.
Just drop it on him, yeah.
Because I think it's definitely you suffer it as well. But like, if someone like who's white or whatever, like spoke about it, they just say your opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
you have no idea. You've never struggled. I'm not saying everyone says that.
To be fair, I've never really suffered racism before. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
Can two friends together actively joke about each other's ethnicity
I do
because
all the
they're
time
friends?
with
So
my
where does that work though? So say for instance this, yeah, like you're with your peer group and you're all laughing and joking and you're connecting and you have someone from the outside looking in, which you can do. Because I've been in a restaurant before and I'm talking away and someone was turning around and say, I don't really like what you're talking about. I was in Barcelona and you know what? I don't drink, right? So I'm in Barcelona and the person I'm with was drinking, yeah. I'll tell you what, he slaughtered her. Right? I mean, I was really polite, yeah, but he just got all hammer and tongue into it, right? And I think myself, wow, like that, you know, like people like, just overheard the conversation.
What was the conversation?
I was talking about whether or not I should buy a present for one of my exes, right, my baby mother, because she asked for it.
Yeah.
So I said to a present, I said, like, you know, like, and I was joking about it, you know, like I was going to buy a fucking present, you know what I mean? It just because my son asked for it, you know, and the thing is, she overheard it and said, "How dare you say that?" And I thought, you haven't even heard nothing. Yeah, how dare you say that?
That's Karens, isn't it? They like to get involved in conversations that have nothing to do. I hate people like that. Yeah, if you get involved in other people's lives when it has nothing to do with you, you're sad. I'm sorry.
Is that part of being woke though, Tillz?
What, getting involved in
other people's lives?
Being woke?
Other people's fights?
You're not woke. You're an idiot.
But other people's fights, you know?
I you know, like, especially like, you know, when you go out or something and you see a pretty girl and you go to approach her, it might just be about something silly, just literally to say hello or even just to hand out something. You always get the ugly friend that comes over and says, no, she's taken.
She's taken?
Yeah, or
okay, yeah,
she's unavailable.
Okay.
Like, what?
Well, you just said something really important there. You know, like, Kenan, like, you know when someone says they're taken, what does that mean? Like, what does it mean? Does that mean if
they're obligated by their other half?
No, but what they usually say is, "Oh, she doesn't want you." That's what they say.
Yeah, basically.
Because they're jealous.
Yeah,
they're jealous.
they're jealous,
They're
innit?
jealous. Yeah, so that's
but the thing is,
9 times out of 10.
We covered some dating stuff, me and Tillz, which was very interesting. And it's interesting as well that you got one side of the camp that says, yeah, I really like what you were saying. And then you've got the other side of the camp saying, you can't say that.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a very small minority. You know, like things like, I think it's saying like 5 or 6% of the world is vegan. So why have we all got to be vegan? You know, you understand what I mean?
Did you know that vegans kill more animals than people that actually do eat meat, and that's a fact.
And you know what, as well, the thing about this, it costs more energy and more people die to make an electric car than it does to produce a gas-driven car. You know, so the thing is, what's all this stuff?
What is it? All the chips? What's that?
It's the mining of the cobalt and like the actual material it makes to take the batteries.
All right. Well, what do you think? What do you think of that? The oil protest that's going on.
Do you hear what happened to them though?
Which one?
No,
I've heard a couple.
They got infiltrated, right? And they had this big dinner, right?
Yeah, and then someone put the balloons on
with the alarm on it.
Yeah,
and like,
that's amazing.
They was going, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah,
that's amazing. You had to sit there with the alarm. And did you see
they're getting the ladders trying to get it down.
The shitty-ass ladder. They got up there like, oh, come on. You know what? Like, not being funny. I mean, with all this stuff, right? I mean, we had, when I was growing up, we had strikes. Yeah, like not these silly strikes that they have. You know, when you like a strike years ago would mean everything was shut down.
Yeah,
right, everything. You know, like literally, like you had.
Would you say like a riot or?
Even just, that. Yeah. Well, look at when Margaret Thatcher. I don't know whether you ever know about Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher was it
coal miners?
It was a coal miners strike, and also as well, you'll love this one. They brought out this bill. Yeah, and we called it. It was against our right to party. So we had this big acid house rave in I mean, it went mental, and everyone was like, you know, that 401. Is it 401 when
420?
420.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, 420 when everyone bun zoots and shit like that. So the thing is, what it is, like, this is a society we've grown up in, you know, like you know, it's like you know. I just think if someone would come down, like if you went coming from years ago, come back, they think, what the hell is going on? You know,
I think even 10, 15 years ago, like if you told us 10, 15 years ago how it would turn out, I think we would all say, nah, you're chatting absolutely.
I think, do you know who started all this stuff? It was a guy called John Money and another psychiatrist. And what they done was they gave children hormone blockers, to kind of, because the children said they didn't want to be all they was. And John Money, I think, and another fella, is really interesting. If you website it, whatever you call it, you know,
if you can find it,
you can find it. Yeah, it's on there now. John Money and there was this psychiatrist, and they got together and they started this spectrum. They said, like, gender is on a spectrum. You can be whatever you want to be. And then I think it was over lockdown. People really started to push a narrative on that, because, you know, in lockdown, what happened was it changed society as it was. Yeah, I mean, we're never ever going to see such a catastrophe of like a breach of human rights as the lockdown. It was a complete breach of human rights. What they was forcing people to do and how they was enforcing it was wrong. You know, everything was wrong. There's countries like that didn't do absolutely a thing, and it was very open. And they never had half as many deaths as that. I think a lot of deaths were caused by hysteria and miscalculation of facts. And I think, like, what it is in that time, the whole fucking alphabet mafia. Yeah, the LBGTKQ, L plus, whatever you want to call yourself, pony, donkey, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's when it all come out.
Yeah.
You know, but you was only 19 when that was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you feel
Something
like in the I mean, you were stuck.
When it first proper started.
Yeah, but you were stuck indoors with your mum and dad. Yeah. You know, what was you? I mean, like, come on.
Still up to it.
You were stuck indoors with your mum and dad, and like, what was going on with that?
What when all that the LGBT stuff came proper main
and lockdown and all that? Yeah.
Oh, to be fair, for me, the big change was that, like, the partying, because at the time, me and him were like going out every weekend, like religiously, constantly going out. That was the only change. But at the time I was working in retail, Tesco, so I was still working.
Was you?
Yeah. So for me, it was like same thing. Just can't go out as much. It was still a big change.
Was you SJW?
Well, back then?
Was you an SJW?
Nah, never.
Do you know an SJ
social justice
warrior? Yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
never.
You know. See, I'm up with the words.
Yeah, you know your
Yeah, I know the
Ain't,
shit.
ain't SJW what you showing me?
Yeah, the videos are like them.
so
It's like
victim mentality
If you disagree
people.
with them or anything, they will literally like
The people with
just-
victim mentality.
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Like,
ultimate.
start-
Well, do you know what I've learned is because I've worked the 12 steps, and there was a thing called a step 4. It's a fearless and moral inventory of yourself. And we have to write about ourselves, like kind of what our defects are. Really, we're looking at our defects, you know, because obviously we was in a position that we had to improve ourselves. And in part of what I did was I worked on the victim mentality and self pity. Because what happens is you once you create yourself as a victim, you create a thing called self pity. So what happens is you end up going down this path that everything is against you, everything is like turning, and what it is, you end up in a vortex of self pity, and then you end up like kind of like feeling sorry for yourself, really,
for the rest of your life.
Well, you can do unless you break that cycle, and it's all about breaking cycle. So what's dating like for you?
Okay, we changed that with that. Non-existent right now. I'm not gonna lie, non-existent.
Well, you're a eunuch.
Yeah, no, never. God forbid. God forbid. No, it's just it's busy. Honestly, I've been so busy recently. I'm not like this guy who's just with a different bird every week. But
Don't listen to him. I bet.
Every week. No,
every week, yeah.
Yeah, no, but okay, every other week. But no, for me,
I've done my stats on that, and my stats are appalling.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. If I'd done it, I'd be like, I can't even say it. You know, I can't even say it. I mean, not being funny, I was very active. Just put it that way. I'm glad. I'm grateful that I've only got 4 kids. Yeah. But the thing is, I'm really grateful. I mean, my children often ask me, "Dad, do you reckon there's anyone else there?" And I'm thinking, "Oh no." You know, but the thing is, you know, it goes DNA. You can get that done. You know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, your dating's non-existent.
Right now, it's just. Honestly, I'm just so busy.
Just work on yourself.
Yeah, honestly, I've been doing my career now for like over a year, and it's kind of just taken over my life a little bit.
What do you do in your career?
Accounting, finance.
Accounting, yeah.
Finance,
Yeah. I like that. We all need numbers.
Yeah,
we have to crunch them numbers.
Honestly,
numbers,
you know.
Yeah.
I mean, even Carol Vorderman makes it look sexy.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, who's the other one? Rachel Riley. You like that, yeah?
She that milk?
No, I'm more Carol Vorderman. Yeah,
you more Carol Vorderman, yeah?
Yeah, I'm more Vorderman.
Yeah, you're more Vorderman all day long.
All day long.
Yeah, she take you aboard.
Mate.
Yeah, she likes the young man. Does she like the young man?
Does she?
I don't know.
I fucking hope so. I would love to meet her. No, but no, honestly, yeah, but that's probably the reason why. But I definitely,
what, through Carol Vorderman?
Yeah, obviously that. But I mean, in general, like seeing girls and stuff. Like,
is there? May I ask you this? Is there like a obviously, you know, like there's a uniform dating website, yeah, that all people with uniforms go on there because obviously uniform. Is there one for accountants? Are we missing?
If there was, I wouldn't fucking go on it. I'll tell you that, bro. Accountants are boring people. I'm alright.
I don't think so.
I've worked with. To be fair, the ones in
human beings
are
not boring.
The ones in my team, they're alright, to be fair. But there's a big stigma, stereotype that accountants are boring. And I do, like, from doing the work, I understand that. Like, I do understand that to a certain extent. Like, some people who enjoy accounting, like, if someone says they enjoy accounting and love it, they're probably really boring. Like, really boring people.
Yeah, but you don't come across as boring.
I don't really enjoy accounting.
Who do you work for in accountancy?
Oh, I work for like a big company, sports company. That's So and been there not long.
Yeah, you don't need to blast out their name.
Yeah, just in case.
What kind of sports is it?
It's a golf company, big one. Yeah. It's honestly, it's insane. I've learned so much since being there. But
I mean, what it is I mean, see, what happens is like with any you spoke about career. Yeah. I mean, things change as you get move along in life. You know, you have these different paths that go in and out of intertwine and go in and out. You know, what you might do one year is not what you might do another year. You know, it's taking, I think, for men, is taking opportunities, but taking them calculatedly. You know, we can all take things on a whim and go, yeah, okay, I'll go and do that. But majority of us, our views and everything else being young are very wrong. You know, and even as you get older, you can still make bad decisions. You
Mm.
know, you can still make that. But then also as well, that's obviously about talking to men, isn't it? Or someone else.
Exactly. I think that's important. Like for me, I struggle a lot talking about my problems. And I think it definitely, for a lot of men, it would definitely be better to talk. But I think there is also, you can talk a bit too much sometimes.
And make yourself vulnerable.
Yeah, and like that as well. But like you get into the whole loop of what you were saying, the self-pity.
You know,
Yeah, 100%.
I think it's good for a man just to suck up sometimes.
What's wrong with getting vulnerable?
I think, no, there's nothing wrong with getting vulnerable.
There is. I think there is.
You reckon there's a problem with getting vulnerable?
100%.
Yeah, I don't think I'm well,
Depends who you're getting vulnerable to.
I can still see why it's okay to be vulnerable, but I would never ever push it for someone.
Well, you just gotta make sure the person you're vulnerable
recommend
to
anyone to be vulnerable to anybody.
Well, do you know what? I've been vulnerable in front of a room full of 50, 60 people.
In front of 50, 60 people are also vulnerable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but the thing is, we like as a society of men and women who've all got the same kind of we've all got the same goals in that room, you know, like 100%. But being vulnerable is part of our nature, like because what it is beforehand, you wear these masks and I would put masks on in order to survive life. Yeah, I'd put a different mask on. I'd be like a chameleon. You know, I had someone share the other day about being a chameleon and kind of
just to adapt through.
Just to adapt, and I'll have all these different friends to adapt to. Remember, I was in addiction for 36 years. You know, I've been clean for coming up to 5 years now, and you know what I've learned is in doing the stuff I've done on myself and working on myself. I've learned that I can be vulnerable and have a healthy healthy shame around it. You know, I've got a healthy shame. And you know what, like in the right environment, you can be vulnerable to someone. And I think sometimes with, because condemnation and negative speak comes into it, because if you don't trust someone, what'll happen is you put it to them and you sit there worrying about it. Yeah. You're worrying about it, and because they don't respond. Say, for instance, you put something in a text and someone doesn't respond, but sometimes it's good to sit with that vulnerability, sitting with it, because we live in an instant society. Yeah, the instant society creates this thing where we want everything now. Yeah, we need it now.
Impulsive.
If we want to feel it, we want to feel it now.
Yeah, it's not fair,
right. And this is a society that we're living in. What I've learned is that I have to sit with stuff. You know, the first time I went into a therapy arena without using, I remember kind of sitting there and I really shared something so personal with me. I've never shared to anyone about it. And my therapist said to me, Reggie, just sit there. Yeah, just sit there. And I didn't know what was going on. But what I realised was she was really wanting me to sit there and just sit with what I've just said. Yeah, and it's really hard. I get it with young men today. Or maybe this podcast, as I say, what we're doing this podcast is kind of what we're working on in this podcast is to get men to talk to each other. You know, we've tackled some issues like with cancer, suicide, gangs. We've tackled misandry, misogyny, dating, and like kind of all that.
Yeah.
But it's like to say to men, look, you know what, if you're watching this, you know, like obviously likes, subscribe, share and continue sharing, is having a platform where you can talk to someone, you know, and if you are kind of out there and you want to kind of engage in a conversation, you know, even on a one-to-one level, we're available for you, you know, or kind of like, because men need support, you know, especially young men, because you're going to go into you're in adulthood now and you're going to eventually meet someone, have children. Who do you speak to?
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah.
You know, who do you speak to? You know what? When I was 19 and I had my first child on the way, and I had 2 children by the time I was 21. I never really had much advice from my parents or whatever, and I never had none of that. And I felt like I've got to do this by myself. And what I've realised that I never had no guidance to it. There was certain bits of guidance, but just whether I was too deaf or too blind to see it. But it's about kind of engaging in a conversation from one man to another, you know. You know, I got told by a guy a little while ago, and he said, Reggie, he said, like, we used to use together, and he's 12 years clean and I'm 5 years clean. He said, Reggie, I love you. Yeah. And he said, I love you. And I fucking hell. Like,
It felt weird to you.
Do you know what? I felt like I can take this. I can take what you're saying. And he said, Reggie said, I've watched you. He said, and beforehand you was a complete dick. But look what you've grown into. Yeah. You know, we've all got a second chance.
How's he getting on now, that guy?
He's doing fine.
Yeah, he's clean as well?
Yeah, he's over.
Would you say the reason why you, like, apparently, obviously the drugs, stopping the drugs.
I was a drug monster.
Obviously, that was the big reason why you was a dick. But, like, do you think talking, basically...
I maybe was a dick because I sold drugs and I never give them to him.
Oh, really? That's why. But do you think talking's a big reason why, like, you've...
Look, when you're using, you talk shit. Yeah, you talk bollocks. Yeah, and, you know, you do talk a load of crap. And I think, as well, it's... majority of our peer groups growing up... Say, for instance, you grow up and everyone's out there now. Yeah, what sort of sense you're going to get from that? Yeah, and then you're going to meet an older person that come along, and it start talking sense. But what's his motive? What is his motive? You know,
maybe to make sure you don't go through the same things he didn't go through,
or maybe take you down the same road he has to benefit himself. So the thing is, this is how it works. You know,
don't know who you can trust.
That's right. So it's learning about who you can trust,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, I've been in situations in my life where I've made myself vulnerable for the wrong people, and I just hope that you don't do that. You need to know who you can trust, and that's the thing.
Pick someone you can trust. Yeah. There's plenty of places out there, but the thing is, there's not enough male advocate groups. There was a guy that he's passed now. His name was John Bradshaw, and I've learned a lot about this guy. And he died 2016, and he was an addict, and he was talking about. He wrote this book called the Healing the Toxic Shame That Binds Us, and what he was going on about was that he suffered with 5 generations of toxic shame. Yeah, and what happened was each time it was passed down, and you took it more on board. Yeah, so next thing you know, you're suffering with something that is fucking 100 years old. Yeah,
it's hereditary.
Yeah, it's hereditary. Say, for instance, if there was adultery, yeah, your great grandfather committed adultery. Why are you learning about that all them generations down the line? You know, we all hear these stories about your great uncle did this, or great, you know, you must not do this. It's like, why are they telling you? Because they're telling you to fear it in you. But the thing is, you're carrying that shame with you. Yeah. Now you've got healthy shame, which is the fact of that you've done the best you can and you're okay with it. Yeah. Healthy shame is, the other day I went out and I put loafers on, and I've been out for something to eat, and I've got back into my mate's place. I give him a hand, and I've ended up with 2 different loafers on, both brown, but 2 different loafers. One had a buckle, and one. Yeah. Okay, I can laugh at that. Like, no one's hurt. You know, it's a bit of healthy shame. You know, I didn't get out of the car, but I know for a fact that shame can affect you like that. You know, so you know, with your football and everything else. I mean. Is that just sport, or is that just keeping fit, or for your pals joining with that, or what?
I think it's just something I love to watch more, to be honest. I'm not very good at it. It's just more, it's just something to watch. Honestly, I think me and Tillz had a similar thing. Just woke up one morning, because before we match a day on Saturday night, and then we played again on Sunday morning.
Sunday morning,
yeah.
Match of the day.
One morning I just woke up and saw Ronaldo and Rooney just destroying.
I just remember Berbatov and Rooney, man.
Yeah, that was good.
And Gabriel, I bummed the whore.
Yeah. Who? He was a shit house, wasn't he, bro?
You remember Gabriel, I bummed the... What a dumb name. Gabriel, I bummed the whore.
It wasn't... Are you being serious? You think
no, it's Gabriel, I bummed the whore, or something, but like...
It's I bummed the whore. You idiot.
Gabriel, it's Gabriel, I bummed the whore.
That's that's a really tricky name to get your lips round, isn't it? Really, you know. What I mean?
Very tricky for her to get her lips round.
Imagine that growing up. If he grew up in school in Birmingham, he'd be slaughtered.
Oh, mate.
Well,
I got to slaughter my fucking last name.
Yeah.
You lot, I'm not even gonna bay out his second name.
Yeah,
if you lot watch Family Guy, it's just
Honestly.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're done. Yeah. So, okay, your peer groups, are they important to you? Your peer groups for support. You spoke about talking to your peer groups opposed to talking to your parents.
For me, I've got like a very controversial opinion. I think friends are bollocks, to be honest with you. I think friends are just complete bollocks. Like, at the end of the day, when it really comes down to it, I promise you, 99% of them, the majority of them, you're lucky if one will really be there. And obviously, I've got mates who I love and like who, if they called me one night and they needed help, I'll go and I'll help them. But for me, it's like, I don't know, just for, like, I've got love for a lot of people around me, but like for me, it's always only been him, really, to be honest. And I've got mates like Dylan.
One's fantastic odds, though, isn't it? You know,
honestly,
you understand what I mean? Because you only need one, didn't you?
100%.
You only need one.
You only need one person who basically will take a bullet for you as a mate. And I know there's only one person who will do that for me. No, I mean, I'll be him. So that, and,
do you know what's funny? I mean, I thought I had a massive circle of friends, right? And
you understand.
But I mean, we would all kind of like we sat there every night, you know, we'll take a bullet for each other, and you know, you would do, you wouldn't, like all this camaraderie. I come into recovery, and they just that was all off, you know.
You didn't have the same interest.
What I've learned is the friends I've got. Like I still have some of those friends. Some of those guys I still kind of connect with every now and then, but it's not as much. But the friends I've got today in the fellowship, the help I got from them is unparalleled. It's like it is no comparison to what these guys are. It's not the you should never really value the amount of friendship you have. By the time you've known someone, sometimes someone can come up and just blow these out of the water. You know, like kind of. But the thing is that you only need one good friend.
Yeah,
that's
it.
And this is the thing, like when what I've learned is that, you know, if I stay clean, I help others. And I say to people, you know, who are literally on the floor, I said, jump on my back. I'll carry you for as long as you're ready to walk, you know. And, you know, that's a different type, I mean, of friendship which we're building there. You know, it is important that men talk to each other, you know. It's important that men can be honest with each other. You know, what do you think?
Yeah, honestly, 100%. Because with me and him, we've been best friends since we were like kids, basically.
4 or 5.
Yeah, like our grandparents, even younger, to be honest, bro. Yeah, our grandparents lived next door to each other. So like for me, like I would help him when because he's been through so much. I've always been there for him. And then like with me, which maybe was stuff more recently. He's been there. He's always been there to like.
Was you a good enough friend to be in a rap video?
And the rap.
Actually,
that one.
Which one? Wakey.
I was in that one. I overslept.
Well, you overslept. You imagine that? Like, you know what is like, oh yeah, you overslept the wakey video.
He understands that.
Was you in what? You was in one though.
I was in the one right there, innit?
That we
the unreleased one.
Oh my
that was that was a terrible.
Was it?
Yeah. No, it was a good song, but the video
it was a good song. Yeah, the video was just terrible.
Was it just like a?
He understands. I'm not really like on a video. Like even
you don't even have an Instagram or anything.
Even this
you don't have no social.
Yeah, but the thing is, this is kind of different because look, there's a camera in the corner.
Yeah, it was more conversation, you know, but like
it's a conversation.
That's exactly what it is.
You know what it is, because you can just have a conversation. You know what it is. It's like as like you know we say like to we can help each other. You know, just by seeing how natural conversation can be.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of being as true to yourself and authentic, and being your authentic self. You know, and kind of cut the telephone voice and
well, that's the thing.
Cut the telephone voice.
I don't want to go on camera and just speaking like who then listen that. You
don't speak like that anyway. So just
I know.
Yourself.
And I notice every time there's something like but I've had like a million interviews. Every time there's like just like that type of dynamic, like where we're gonna have a sit down and have a talk. I just skip the voice. This is my work voice.
Is it your work voice?
It's my work voice.
Yeah.
You got work voice, Reg.
No,
You don't
no.
need
I
to.
try to talk like clearly.
Well spoken, yeah.
Well, even when I'm with a client, I'll talk to them and I'll it's really funny when I first set up my company. I said I used to go, would you be interested in a patio path, a driving wall cleaning service? And we clean patio paths. And the thing is, I try to talk as much as remember as well though. I took that many drugs by the time I was 19 that I'd lost the actual ability to speak. So I took so much LSD. Yeah, I couldn't talk. I couldn't even keep it up. Yeah, and I'd lost the ability to speak. So I had to learn how to talk again. And that was when I was 19. And I think also as well, because I talk amongst groups of people, I do shares and I actively...
Gives you more confidence, would you say?
Yeah, you would do, yeah. I think as well, it's about public speaking is about confidence.
Yeah.
I find some people that end up in an environment that I'm in. It's it's kind of important that we learn to engage with another human being.
Yeah.
So what would you like? What's your hopes and dreams? What do you want?
Hopes and dreams, honestly, just to have the ability just to have enough time with my family.
Yeah.
Get out maybe of the 9-to-5 rot and being somewhere where it's sunny. That's it, really. Honestly, nothing.
Being somewhere
too much.
sunny.
Yeah,
you're in the wrong country for that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, no,
I know.
yeah.
No, honestly, the plan is to move back home to Cyprus eventually.
Yeah, what part of Cyprus?
North Cyprus.
North Cyprus. Yeah, I've been over there quite a few times.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah,
there.
it's lovely.
It's hot and it's peaceful.
Yeah, it's just
simple.
in the winter though.
And it's not westernised enough, which is amazing. About it.
Yeah. That's about now.
Yeah,
You will not catch a man walking down the street wearing a dress and high heels with a wig on.
You wouldn't,
which is amazing. I promise you, where we are right now, I'm not going to tell you where the location is. Somewhere in Southeast London right now. If you came out of this place right now, you will see 3 guys walking in dresses, multicolored. And
definitely around here.
That isn't normal. That isn't right. And kids shouldn't see things like that.
In a woke world,
Keep it to yourself.
In a woke world like that, that's like kind of, that's like, you can't say that.
Yeah, but that's not, that's the difference. There's 2 different sides of woke.
People are waking up now, though.
There's 2 different sides of woke.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
I think there's the woke that say, transsexual people are normal people and they're okay, which they're not okay. I think they have some underlying mental health issues, and I'm all for mental health. Get these people help. Look, I'll be honest with you.
I think a lot of it is around to that whole thing about mental health.
And
about kind of where is your state of mind at? I know when I was an addict, I'm still an addict, but when I was inactive, my state of mind.
You're still an addict? What do you mean by that?
I'm still an addict.
You still say that? That's what we were talking about before.
Addict. Yeah, I will still be an addict.
And that's humble of you to say.
Well, of course it is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, what it is, I'm putting myself, what it is, me being an addict is, I share the humility with saying that I'm an addict, because I know for a fact I suffer with something that I cannot explain, I cannot cure, but I have to work on it. And once you do know that you're an addict, once you do know that you need help, once you start getting that help, it's really hard to go back to that person and say that I'm not an addict. It's the only disease, of addiction that you tell yourself you haven't got it.
Yeah.
Only to find out. I mean, look, not being funny. You want to see me around a salad and a sausage egg McMuffin? I'll tell you addiction. Not being funny. I can show you addiction around a packet of Jaffa cakes. Yeah, I just can't say no. And it's not normal to sit there and have one Jaffa cake and eat the rest.
Do you think you substituted your drug addiction with
food?
Stuff like food?
Are you saying I'm fat?
No, but I'm saying if you physically can't stop eating Jaffa cakes, do you think? Because a lot of people do that, they substitute.
But of course you do. You always swap one for another.
Yeah. Reg, if the consequences were as bad though, if the consequences were as bad as what it was taking hard drugs. You would stop, because I think you obviously would, because you're in a mentality.
Sugar addiction is food addiction.
Sugar addiction is real.
Sugar addiction is one of the biggest addictions in the world.
It's ridiculous.
We are in this society addicted to sugar. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Right, we are addicted to sugar. I could be addicted to anything. If I hang around with something long enough, I'll be addicted to it. But what I learn is now that I can treat what I suffer with in a certain way. Yeah, I put the 12 steps into my life, and my life is a lot better. You know, the 12 steps of recovery, and my life is better. You know, I stay clean, I help others. I stay clean, I can do this. I stay clean, I have a family. But the thing is, as long as I put recovery first, my life can go around the outside of it pretty nicely.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's another thing as well. You know, I never had that identification as a young man. No one pointed that to me. No one turned around and said this to me. Reggie, even though my friends were dying of heroin and dying of different things and all drug related, and there was me happily sniffing away until I was 46. You know, I still had the same slow, agonizing death, you know. But the thing is, what it is, if I had someone to talk to, I guarantee you. Oh, no, you haven't. Yeah. If I had someone to talk to, maybe my life would have been different, but maybe woulda, coulda, shoulda. It never, and I ended up where I am today. You know, like anyone, if you're a young man, you need to talk to someone. You know what? I could point you out to anyone to talk to. I've got loads of people around me and professionals that if you've got a problem with grief, you've got a problem with suicide, you've got a problem with addiction, you've got a problem with gambling, sex, love, lust, you know that I know somewhere that can help. You know, and this is a thing that we need to know, that you've got someone, you know, you call the Samaritans up, you call this up, you call that, they can direct you the same way. But it's about getting down to the level that someone can understand.
Real personal levels.
That's
getting into personal details. Because all these other places like the Samaritans, what you were just talking about, they'll direct you to a situation that is on the baseline of what you want to talk about, but not specifically.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
If you want to do it. You know, it's up to you. It's because it's your choice. See, once I give up drugs, and drugs, I couldn't use drugs. I mean, I used drugs against my will. So what happens is, once I use drugs against my will, now I've stopped using drugs. I have to look at other things where I'm looking at in my life. It's constant. You know, it's constant. You know, because I never had it in the first place.
Yeah.
Reg, how would you say your first year was after your first year of no drugs and no alcohol?
My first year was the same as my first day. I was grateful to be alive.
Okay.
I was grateful I could breathe. I tell you what, man, I was so suffocated. But the thing is, now my life has changed.
Yeah.
You know, now my life is enriched with stuff in my life that I never ever thought I had. You know, I haven't really got much from my past because everything's brand new to me. You know, I remember my first sunset, my first sunrise. Do you know what? My first sunrise, I was a few days clean, and I drove over, going towards the south coast, and I've hit this beautiful sunrise. I pulled over and I cried. Yeah, I cried because I've never seen it clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never seen it clean. You talk about that rebirth. You know, and the thing is, life for me now is about kind of staying clean and helping others
and appreciating the things like sunsets,
and maybe helping someone to talk to someone, you know, and all that. So we're gonna wrap it up now, Tillz.
Yeah,
it's great to speak to you, Ken, and it's great to speak to you, Tillz. And you know, we're gonna come back again, and like I want to have a big shout out to first of all, Rhythm and Rhyme in Bromley. They do fantastic food. And I don't want to do that. You know, this is the thing about this, right? This thing's listening to me. Yeah, it's listening to me. Like I'm a dinosaur with this shit. Yeah, Rhythm and Rhyme in Bromley, you know, they've done a fantastic Caribbean food, fantastic service, you know, and also as well, I like a big thank out to Loved Ones Forever, you know, our sponsor. You know, if you like this, right, like, subscribe, share, you know, check us out. Come on, DM us, give us some questions. I want some questions up.
Yeah.
When we do a live show.
Send some problems.
We want some problems?
Yeah, I'll be sick.
Yeah, we want some problems. Well,
we want some problems and we'll solve them for you.
What I say is like, look, don't live in a problem, live in a solution. Give us a call, you know.